What's up, guys? We just hit a patch again in the Act 4 beta realm. I want to go over some of the changes that I've noticed, pretty significant ones to totems. If you look at this wheel, it's Shaman's Dominion. It now has a 12% increased critical strike multiplier to totem skills. 100% chance to gain a global critical strike chance for 4 seconds while placing a totem. Here's crit multi for totems, crit multi for totems, 10 crit strike chance totem damage, 20% crit strike totems with totem skills. Now this isn't prejudiced to attack, range attack totem, or spell totem. So another couple totem changes that we've seen here. Usually it was like an 8 totem damage and then like a 34 minion or totem life node. This one is 10% totem damage, 15% increase totem life, plus 5% all res for totems, totem damage by 10%, and then here's the one that Rory was talking about: increased casting speed for summoning totems. That's why faster cast no longer affects the rate at which you spawn things, and then you get attack and cast speed. So pretty cool changes for that. I'm sure people will come out with some epic totem builds. Okay, so moving along, we have a couple of things that I want to say, like mana on the tree overall has been buffed in regards to Soul Siphon. I think it's the same. Let's look at Mind Drinker. Mind Drinker now has flat mana added to it. In addition, it got 4% increased max mana. I'm guessing the data that they were getting was a lot of people were just skipping Mind Drinker because they would just get it on gear, and these two nodes were not as good as others. If we look at Primal Spirit also received flat mana in addition to mana flows and Revelry. Overall improvements, I think they added some flat mana on Battle Rouse to 15. So while you guys were having mana regen problems, maybe this is going to help alleviate some of that. What else do we have on the tree? We have this whole Dagger claw wheel. It used to look like that microtransaction helmet, but no longer it looks like that. We have Claws of the Pride with 15% Fizz, 8% attack speed, 15% leech rate, and mana leech rate. Now the leech changes haven't hit the beta realms yet, but they're supposed to come in like 5 days or so. We have Claw accuracy, Claw attack speed, and then on the left side we would go leech rate. So definitely think that the left side is the strong side in this case, even though it's the extra node. This will definitely give you a more reactive leech. And for daggers, you get From the Shadows, 15% fizz, 40 crit, 20 accuracy. These nodes are super sweet, but they don't get the leech benefits. A couple of sneaky changes that they've done is they've added Uber Claw nodes. Like, these are small ones, but they're so good. 25% increased critical strike chance with claws, 8 crit multi. This would have made Reave even better. Oh, while we're on that subject, Reave has been changed. It's no longer 5 seconds. It's back down to 3. However, you can use other skills without losing Reave stacks. And they've halved the stacks but increased the effectiveness of the AoE. So now the max stacks, instead of being 8, is now 4. It's a very, very slight AoE reduction when you're max, and Vol Reave is now 8 stacks instead of 16. So it's quicker to build up to that bigger stage, but they don't last as long, and you can now use other skills like Whirling Blades and other things like that. Some of the couple of the other notable changes to the tree is that this used to be a highway from Finesse going down this way. This actually used to have Profane Chemistry. Now Profane Chemistry has moved up. It's now a 3-pointer, 3 dex nodes away. So that's kind of upsetting, and it kind of nerfed it. And also they moved Thick Skin over one dex node, because it was so efficient. Coming down to Quick Step, you guys saw I picked up dex. You can get fencing and this wheel. So I guess they felt like, oh, it's just too much give, and we need to nerf it a little bit. couple other notables is they added this wheel called Graceful Assault. 16% increased attack damage. That's not prejudice to projectiles or melee hits or elemental damage, chaos damage. It's all attack damage. So that's pretty cool. You get 25% increased evasion while you have Onslaught. This is 12 evasion and 12 evasion. So if you're doing projectiles, you would go down this way to get Graceful Assault, and then this one is 8% melee damage and evasion. Also not prejudiced to any type of damage. I feel like it also has something else on it right here. Yes. So the skill tree planner does not include the 10% chance to gain Onslaught for 3 seconds on kill. You know, coupled with Innervate and incorporating that into your build, this could be a really reliable way to get Onslaught for your character. And you can also get Onslaught through like Duresso's Defiance, which is the chest piece that gives you Onslaught for Frenzy or Endurance charges. A couple other cool changes. We have cold damage, and Flash Freeze, which is cold damage and projectile speed. So you could actually theoretically go Evasion Freeze Pulsar. You would go down this route, Evasion Life, and Finesse, and then get this node. And you can also go up to get Heart of Oak and Ballistic Mastery, and then continue your Freeze Pulse route, you know, through life nodes here, which I think is pretty damn cool with this. Or you can use Ice Spear, but mainly what comes into mind is Freeze Pulse. And I am more keen on making evasion-based casters that use phase acrobatics, since they're nerfed to EB, and sustaining on mana. So it's going to require lots of mana and mana regen to run it on like 6 links, but I think you can make it work, especially with the Brolift Trapper too. Speaking of trap nodes, we have Blast Cascade, which is 20% increased crit multi with traps and mines, 15% chance to gain a power charge when your trap is triggered by an enemy, and then 8% chance to gain power charge when your mine is detonated targeting an enemy. So, you know, Brolift Trapper not only dealing with Assassin's Mark, but even getting Blast Cascade, creating that reliability of generating power charges. And then we have 2 crit multi nodes and 1 crit chance node. I definitely think the route would be to go left to Blast Cascade. Also notable changes is the fact that all these side jewel slots have been reduced 1 extra node. So they used to be a 4-pointer so you can get inside, now they're 3. Same thing with this corner, this corner, this corner, but honestly they're not that appealing. They're still, you know, behind really weak nodes, so you'd have to come up with some really interesting jewel to make it worthwhile, like an additional curse or things like that. So what else has been changed? Oh yeah, the Fortify wheel. This is now 8% Fortify effect, 15% melee fizz while you have Fortify, 20% increased armor while you have Fortify, and it's behind 4% Fortify effect, 10% Fortify duration, and then melee fizz when you have Fortify by 10% on each of these. This is the one I'm currently utilizing on beta with my Ice Crash Marauder. It's working wonders, and I'm really happy with it. So there has also been leech rate changes, which is very cool. Lust for Carnage now received an increased life leech rate. This is what they were talking about in the manifesto. This is the mace leech rate, 10% leech with physical damage right there. We have every weapon gets some love. We have Blade of the Cunning, which gives sword leech rate by 30%, and we have axes with 20 here and 10 here. So very cool. In addition to the claws. The claws are going to be so strong in my opinion. Now, don't be alarmed. the Moonclaw was not removed. A lot of the Mariketh weapons received new names, and if you guys need an update on your loot filter or your loot filter is broken, feel free to reference the old loot filter video. I do update it with versions from time to time, so you can always rely or bookmark that particular video. But those are some of the major tree changes that I've noticed. In addition to some skills being reworked and some skills that haven't received attention. Blood Rage is also physical degen. Let's go ahead and look at that real quick. It doesn't take, you lose 3.8% of your maximum life per second as physical, and it's so much easier to run on a character, which gets mitigated by endurance charges and even things like Soul of Steel. Armor does not mitigate it. We have confirmed that. But hopefully you guys come up with some interesting builds. I'll keep doing some Act 4 updates as we receive them. Keep in mind that Vault Pact is subject to change with the new leech coming. We have the leech rates, but we don't have the adjustments on gear and other things like that. Roy said that's coming, and that Vault Pact will be adjusted to accommodate. I'm eager to see that, and if we need to adjust our current build to supply more leech percentage or more leech rate, we will do so. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys later.